Hello friends, I'm still traveling around tropical islands in search of new adventures that include fishing, hunting, spearfishing, and bushcraft. And of course, I test myself in survival conditions. During the high tide, large waves have risen in the coastal zone. Therefore, engaging in underwater hunting in this area will be very difficult. Swimming will be very inconvenient and the water is quite murky. So I've decided to head out into the open ocean, where the water will be clean and clear, allowing me to engage in underwater hunting at greater depths. I jump into the boat and paddle away from the shore. I've sailed about 15 kilometers away from the coast. At this distance from the island, there were no clouds in the sky. The bright sun was shining, and the water was very transparent and beautifully blue. I put on my scuba diving gear, took my harpoon gun in my hands, and submerged underwater. Around my boat, schools of dolphins were swimming, which is a good sign for me. There should be fish today. I immediately noticed a large amount of fish underwater. Most likely, this attracted the dolphins' attention, as it's their feeding ground. On the water's surface, I spotted some floating debris. And often, small fish gather around such debris, and the presence of such small fish schools is often guarded by a larger predator. There was plenty of small fish near this debris, but I didn't see anything big. I continue swimming further. Here, the fish were larger. I wanted to approach a bamboo raft. It's often near such rafts that schools of mahi fish swim. And I was right. Not far from the bamboo raft, a large school of mahi fish was swimming right at the water's surface. But the fish noticed me immediately and tried to keep a safe distance. Against the current, I tried to catch up with it and somehow reduce the distance for an accurate shot. And as soon as I got as close as possible, I pressed the trigger and shot. However, the fish turned out to be much faster than me, and the mahi managed to disappear into the endlessly blue water. I continue swimming and try to get closer to the bamboo raft. As you know, this bamboo raft is anchored at a depth of over 1,000 meters using massive ropes. When I lowered my head down, I saw that at the depth near these ropes, several very large black bass specimens were holding on. It's also called the triple tail. The fish was of a significant size but stayed at a considerable depth. I'm not sure if my underwater hunting skills will be enough to dive to this depth, but I'll try. I take a breath and dive underwater. The largest black bass noticed me and began to descend deeper and deeper, but a few big fish still stayed near the surface of the water, and this is my chance. I close the distance, aim, and take a shot. Yes, success! I managed to hit the big fish. However, after being hit, the fish immediately swam downwards and started wrapping my harpoon around a huge rope at the depth. I can't allow this. If the fish gets tangled at such a depth, I won't be able to retrieve it. But I reacted in time, and I managed to untangle the fish and bring it up to the surface. Now, the second challenge, I need to quickly immobilize the fish using a knife. Away from myself. These waters have a lot of sharks, and an injured fish quickly attracts the attention of these dangerous predators. The black bass turned out to be of a good size. It was very difficult to hold with just one hand, but most importantly, I have the catch. I remove it from the harpoon and attach it to a buoy. After catching this trophy, I lower my head and see a lot of decent-sized fish below me. This is a very good fishing spot. I will definitely remember it, but for now, I have enough catch. So, I'm heading back to the boat and will row to the shore. Perhaps at the moment, this black bass is the biggest fish I've managed to catch using an underwater crossbow. For a more experienced underwater hunter, it might be a small catch, but for me, it's my trophy at the moment. I throw the fish into the boat and head to the shore. I need to set up camp and prepare my catch. As I approached the shore, I noticed that large rain clouds were lingering over the island. When I reached the shore, a light rain started. This isn't a good sign. It won't be easy for me to start a fire. But I'm sure I can handle this task. First and foremost, I need to set up my camp and put up the tent in case of heavier rain. Under this tent, I'll store all my belongings as well as dry firewood. This large bamboo will serve as the foundation of my shelter. I'll secure it with the help of stone. Done. Now I need to spread out and secure the tent. I'll stretch it in different directions. There's no ground here, so I'll fasten the ropes between the stones. This is how the tent is set up. It's drizzling lightly, so I hurried to put my belongings under the tent and find more dry firewood. After that, I took the caught fish and headed to the ocean to clean it. At the moment, there was a high tide phase. The water level was rising higher and higher, and the waves were getting larger. Using a knife, I cleaned the fish and also cut it in half. I lightly salted the fish on top to enhance the flavor and prevent it from spoiling too quickly in warm weather. It seemed like the most important task was completed. I managed to catch a big catch, but now I need to somehow start a fire. I gathered dry wood and will set up my campfire next to the tent. To keep the coals in one place, I surrounded the campfire with rocks. And now, using 2 wooden pieces, I will attempt to create fire. I made a small indentation in the middle of one of the wooden pieces using a knife. I sharpened the other wooden piece slightly and created a primitive imitation of a knife edge on one side. In general, it will become clear to you soon. I secure one piece with my foot, and now I begin the process of friction to make fire. Initially, there's no need to rush. The wood needs to be heated and the 2 wooden pieces need to be rubbed together. When smoke appears, I need to pick up the pace a bit and adjust the angle of friction so that the heated, rubbed wood accumulates in front. In reality, this is quite challenging. During the friction, the wood heats up and dries, and both wooden pieces rub against each other perfectly. Let me try again. As soon as I see the first smoke, I start increasing the pace and adjusting the angle of friction slightly, so that the formed embers accumulate in front. Look, I managed to obtain a tiny ember. Now it needs a bit of oxygen. Using the friction method, I managed to get fire. The wood gradually started to catch fire. I took the fish and placed it on top of the fire. The fire was reluctant to burn strongly. The wood had slightly dampened, but it's not a problem. The water will evaporate and the fire will gradually intensify. Embers formed, on which I can cook my fish. The main thing is to control the process and not let the fire die out. And after about 20 minutes, the fish was ready. The fire was burning weakly, but it was still enough to grill my fish. Since it was very fresh, I'm not worried about any undercooked parts. The taste of this fish was divine and juicy, reminding me a lot of our freshwater perch, but just a very large one. This meat will definitely last me for the whole day. And I'm very glad I acted in time, because after lunch, very big waves arose and I wouldn't be able to hunt in the coastal area. I hope that these waves will wash edible mollusks or crabs onto the shore. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it reaches 15,000 likes, next time during underwater hunting, I will try to catch lobsters. Thank you very much for your attention, friends. Subscribe to my channel not to miss new episodes. Share this video with your friends, and see you soon.